How's it going, guys? This is Grimjow, back at you in another video today. And today, I would like to do something a little bit different on the channel. It's been a while since I've uploaded content, even fighting games related. I'm pretty sure most of you guys are mostly there for the fighting game content I do. But sometimes I haven't uploaded this in a while. I haven't done an actual Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile in a very long time. And I would like to maybe try and get back at it again. I'm still keeping up with the game, but I'm mostly like playing the game like super casually now with like friends and stuff like that. Not so much as like competitiveness and like super try hard decks or whatever. But lately I've been really wanting to like maybe visit an old like summoning style that I haven't like really had a chance to really how can I say? I've picked up this deck in the sense of like I wanted to try like a really cool ritual archetype, and as soon as like the Megaliths came out, I really fell in love with them. But I wanted to sort of like move away from the very turbo like how do I say the end on like 5 negations or whatever you want to call it, like the herald, not the herald, like the fairy extension combo into like hot red drag. But anyways, this is mostly going to be like a casual deck. It's very complicated actually. Like this is a combination of a Nekroz, Megalith, and like ritual package good stuff with like extra deck shenanigans. But the main thing about this deck is you want to focus on like two things: is to turbo out what's it called, Unicore, to have the extra deck negation, the Bethor pop, or if you can with the Megaliths, like maybe combo off in the sense of like you can go to like the extra deck and like maybe set up some some form of like how do I say, negations or just whatever it is. But most of the time, you're always going to go for like a Bethor pop for this. And this part of the package here is mostly just to like facilitate that. And there's one card in here that's sort of like an additional win condition you can do. But for most of the part, this deck is actually very complex. Like the combo lines are not always straightforward. But with enough practice, you can kind of sort of like free flow your hand as you see like combo lines, because you also have to like keep in mind like there's a lot of stuff you have to make sure you know how to like the levels in the field, how much you're tributing, and stuff like that. Like it's a very complicated deck, especially like the Nekroz stuff. Most of the time you're always just gonna like turbo out Unicore and like hope to go into him. But sometimes you can have like what's it called for like a go second or thing, you can like use the Nekroz monsters to sort of like break your opponent's boards or whatever. But all of these archetypes, the purpose of them is to complement each other so that they facilitate the ritual summons of the other, you know, whatever it is you're trying to get out on the field. That's the whole purpose of the deck, is you want of each engine is to help each other out in a way to have synergy. Like the Nekroz is like a very recursive engine. Megaliths like have like they constantly cycle through their spells and traps and just put bodies in the field, right? And the incantations with like additional stuff in here is to facilitate both of these, right? So this is like the synergy behind this deck. So let's start off with the Nekroz part of the package. So part of the Nekroz package, we're gonna play 3 Shrew. This is your pretty much your ritual summon facilitator for all of your Nekroz monsters. Like it'll count for one of them. But also if you use them for the other ritual monsters, they're also you'll get its effect to add any of the Nekroz warrior monsters back to your hand. So you're gonna play triple Brionac, triple Colossalus, and the pretty much like the main card you always want to end on is triple Unicore. These are all the 3 of us you always want to make sure you end on him, just to get that extra deck negation. And now for like the utility Nekroz monster, not for the big boys. You play the 1 Valkyrius. You can play Gungnir instead, but I like this utility because it helps you get rid of your incantation monster that you might not have on the field. Like so you clear up the spaces so that you can go into your extra deck, so you're not locked by these to not be able to go into the extra deck. But most of the extra deck is just a utility for the Nekroz monster for Kaleidoscope. But the purpose of Valkyries is that it sends any 2 cards to draw up to the number of cards you sent to the field. Then the one Trishula just to protect, but you can summon it to get like that, what's it called? The actual Trishula effect of like the banish. And for the new one, the new Nekroz, I have never been able to pronounce the one. A red hair bear, whatever. This is like the new level 11 one. This one is really good because you can actually sit on it to have like extra negations, and it's a lot easier to get him out with the Shruit. Now for the spells, you play 3 Kaleidoscope, and now for the utility ritual spells, 1 Nekroz Mirror and the 1 Nekroz Cycle. These are very good just for like the niche applications of like, depending like what monsters you use to send to the grave, or whatever monsters you have to sort of like recur back from like both of these archetypes. Like this is like the purpose of this deck, is so like each archetype sort of facilitates as an engine for one or the other. But most of the time, the Megalith monsters are just going to be working by themselves. But you can use even Shrew to sort of facilitate the summons of the Megalith monsters as tribute material to search out any of the Nekroz monsters to add additional, like it's a whole resource engine. Keep in mind, this deck can brick. It's very bricky, but it's about knowing how to manage your resources. Okay, and again, this is not a competitive deck. It's more of like a casual deck if you want at a locals with your friends, and it's very hard to master. But once this deck goes off, it can really, really go off. Like the Nekroz engine is very, very good for like excuse me, for the purpose of recycling. Okay, and that's it for the Nekroz monsters. I'm going to try to speed this up so I don't keep talking about each one, because I think you guys get the point. So now, I think these are the 2 perfect ratios for this deck. For the Megalith monsters, you play, excuse me for the camera going in and out. It's a very old camera I'm using. It's a lot of lighting. But you play 2 Ophiel, 2 Haggith, 2 Full. The 1 Och, which I will get into why you play. It's either you mostly want to play this one or this one for the effect to ritual summon during your opponent's turn, and I will show you guys in a second as to why. Don't really need to explain these. I think these ratios are perfect for like the Megalith monsters, because you're not going to be like constantly cycling through like any of them to the point where you're going to need like 3 of them. And now for the big ones, you play the 2 Bethor and then the 1 Phallic. This is for like OTK, or just for like another ritual like name to send to ritual summon out your Megalith monsters. You can play the Artron, whatever that card is, but I find it's a bit gimmicky. I think Phallic facilitates the summoning, the OTK factor a lot better. Then for the MVP of the deck, you play triple Unformed, not a once per turn, and 1 Megalith Portal and 1 Megalith Emergence. These are for like if you've already gone through a lot of these and you can like, and you need like another target to like search off of this. This one, you mostly want to go for this one just for the utility of like recurring ritual stuff from the graveyard, since you are going to be ritual summoning a lot of Megalith monsters a lot of time on your own turn. And then this one is just mostly just to bring back a Megalith monster, particularly like the ones that have like the quick effect banish, but the quick effect like a resurrection from the quick effect to bring out another one. But most of the time you're just going to be searching out Portal, but this has like some niche applications sometimes. Like again, it depends on the matchup, it depends on the hand, how you want to set this up. Like again, like the combo lines are never straightforward for this deck, but and it requires a lot of practice, but you can definitely get the idea of like how each card sort of like interacts with each other as a resource engine. Now for the incantations, I feel you can run with like a Drytron, but Drytron kind of conflicts with Unicorn because you mostly want to have Unicorn hit the field as soon as you can. So I feel like the incantations are a good one. This is why you also run the Valkyries to pop these off the field so you're not extra deck locked. So you run 2 Candle, 2 Talismandra, 2 Chalice Slime, 2 Incantation Inception. This is a very good one because this ritual summons any ritual monster and has a really good graveyard effect as well. 2 Ben 10. I feel like 2 is enough. You can maybe get a third one, but just in case you get yourself in the you can run 3 of this, but I feel like 2 you're just gonna go through 2 to sort of like facilitate the ritual summons of other cards. So I feel like 2 is enough because you mostly just want to like search out Mandrew just for like to have like the one normal summon of the deck. But you can do, instead of 2 and 2 of this, you can do 3 of this and then the 1 Vanity's Fiend, Vanity's Ruler to end on like if you want to get rid of like these are on the field, you have nothing to do with them, you can like just tribute them over for that instead. But having the additional like plus off of this is really good because then that'll get you into like other engines you want to start getting into. So I feel like the utility of this is a lot better. And 2, like you don't necessarily always want to like just constantly like have this because sometimes it might just be a dead card in your hand and you might not have anything to do with it. But it's really good just to like have a source to this. You sometimes want to draw this and sometimes you don't because you want to get into this first to search this. Now for one of the additional win conditions, the 1 Magician of Black Chaos Max. This is literally an Azathoth on your opponent's turn and it's grimy. It's really good. This is a card I really wanted to try and facilitate in this deck, but you need to sort of like get a combo line that like gets you into this card, which is difficult. This is why, like I said, combos in this deck are not always straightforward. So having a combo line or having like a combo path to get into this and setting it up is very, very good. The payoff reward is really good. Sometimes you can end on this like Bethor pop of like 3, 4 or however many and a Unicorn extra deck negation. Or if let's say you did like how I did it before where you don't have this, you can end on this Majesty's Fiend, or sorry, Majesty's Ruler, Bethor pop, and Nekroz Unicorn, or whatever other Unicorn like or Nekroz monster like the big 12 one that is like negations or whatever it would be. And then for like the last couple utility spells, like the 1 Rhoda to search out Shrewd, and then the 2 Preparations of Rites. Very good because this will search out your entire, pretty much your entire deck. Search out this, searches out some of your Nekroz monsters, searches your some of your Megalith monsters. It'll recur a Nekroz or a ritual spell. It could recur this or one of your Nekroz ritual spells from the grave. So it's really good. So like you can kind of see like the idea of this deck where it's just like a big, massive resource engine. How like each card like sort of facilitates one into the other. So you have to really, really spend a lot of time with this deck. I'm still getting used to this deck, but this is like the idea of like what I put behind this deck. And again, it can brick. This deck can brick, and this is why, like I say, this is more of like a locals, friends like deck you want to play with. And trust me, if you want your friends to hate you, do not play this deck because combos are gonna take a long time, very, very long time if you don't know what you're doing. Now for the extra deck, for like the Kaleidoscope Sends, the 1 Entis, the 2 Herald of Light, Quintet. This is for like if you have like awkward hands of like big boys and you need to like drop a bunch of monsters on the field. So you run Quintet, Trishula, Tyrant Dragon, whatever, Chow Fang. These are all for the Kaleidoscope stuff. If there's like times where you find yourself, you have like too many Nekroz monsters and you want to hit them on the field, you run a good, like these can be interchangeable. You can run like 3 of this, 3 of this, some of these, whatever, and like the rest can be whatever you want. But the idea is to have as many targets to facilitate multiple Nekroz summons, right? But most of the time, you're just going to be going into the first 3. And now for the very last ones, like rank 4s for like the Megalith and overlaying into like with Mandrew. You run the one Dugaris, the one Giant Granite, Gallant Granite, I mean, sorry. For the Rock Search, you can search out... this used to be a lot better when you had Block Dragon, but like this can just search out any of your Megalith monsters if you're in a pinch and you can't like what's it called, summon out. Like let's say you have like, if you drop Unicorn and then you normal summon Manju, and you can still facilitate like a type of like Nekroz Unicorn summon. Use Unicorn with Manju, summon this out, and then search out a Megalith monster to just get your play started. One Abyss Dweller, one this. This is like a gimmicky one. Star Leash Photon Blaster. This will just like if you end on this too, this will just more or less just protect your monsters with like 2,000 or more attack. Other than that, that's pretty much just about it. Most time you want to end on Abyss Dweller because it's like a graveyard lock. Now for like the more of the fun cards like generic links, one Cross Sheep, one Masquerena, one Nephthys of the Sacred Flame, and then one Unchained Abomination. Again, utility. This is very nice because you can just summon it off of Masquerena. Like let's say you have a play where you end on Masquerena and like 2 monsters. You can like summon this, the Abomination. So it's pretty nice. It's not bad, but yeah. And that's about it for the deck, guys. Maybe sometime this week I might record a couple more deck profiles. I've built a virtual deck. I've actually even been playing a lot of older formats too. I've been playing a lot of like GOAT format. I might do maybe a GOAT format deck profile or maybe an Edison deck profile. I've really been trying a lot of like older formats. Like, not that I hate modern Yugu, but I just don't really like where the game's kind of gone into. I'm not really a fan of like the game as much right now, but I still enjoy it. It's a nice hobby, but anyway, excuse me, guys. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. Give me some tips in the bottom in the comment section of how I can change it, and yeah, have a nice one, guys.